Okay, hey everybody, this is Hawaii This Punch with LowKeyHighEntertainment. So I ran into a thing. I apologize that we haven't been uploading videos as frequently. We're really swamped down with Project Kianna, and we've got the pitch demo coming out at the end of the month. But I thought this was kind of an important thing that a lot of people have been trying to do, and there isn't an answer for it, at least until now. So, so what I have here is a kind of a Sin City rendition of Unreal Engine's Hoopla. So we have like our character here that is displaying the red, and she's taking on the light from the the channel. Now her okay, so as far as textures are concerned, if you do use a light, you're going to have to desaturate that texture, and you're going to have to make sure that it doesn't respond to lighting. But other than that, when you're looking at certain aspects, right? So we're going to go ahead and click play here, right? So my character is in black and white. She is in black and white except for her red. And then the whatever lighting kind of clashes on her. So right now the lighting doesn't affect me. The best way to do this is to make a material and have that material specifically attuned for this, because if it's not, then you'll get, like I said, you'll get the glow that she's got, and what we're wanting is more like the black and white, and then whatever color it is. So if that makes any sense, keeping things separate are the best ways to do that, I suppose. So, but for this, we're able to use a post process, and we're able to identify certain objects, whatever object you want, into its own color field. So, for instance, if we jump down, bada bing, bada boom, you can see that this car is its own color, whereas all the other cars are black and white, and I promise you, they're colored. But let's get into this. So first off, what I decided to do with this is the window lights, right? I have a tutorial for this, but basically you have three parameters. You have your metallic, your roughness, and your base color. This is actually just kind of the glass material, so when the lights are off, it looks like glass. The parameter here, you just hold S, multiply it by the color, and then put it in the emissive, and then you can mess around with the numbers of how bright and how not bright you want it. So there's that. But let us go to, I've done this twice already. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what you're going to need is a post-process volume. So if you click here and you, what I do is I hover over get content, and I'll just type in post-process volume here, and then you can add that to your scene, right? Since I've already got one, not a big deal. First thing I want to do with the post-process is to make sure that it doesn't do that weird zoom thing. So we're going to go into exposure, and then the speed down should be at 1 by default. If I do the default here, it'll be 3. So basically what this does is that when I play the game, it does this like thing where it starts really, really dark, and then it like lightens up, and I hate it. So we're going to go ahead and hit the speed up to 1. That way when we play it, it's already 100% done. There's no fade in, fade out, or anything like that. So, okay, so exposure taken care of. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and then save it. Why is it? Oh yeah, okay. So so if you look without the post-processing, right, it's got you can see all the lights, you can see these cars have colors, all that kind of good stuff. So as far as, oh my gosh, as far as that is concerned, what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a material. So we're going to right click, we're going to hit material, and we're going to call this SCity3, I guess, because why not? So SCity3, click it. So what we're going to do here, am I recording on this? I am recording. Okay, good. Okay. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to I'm sorry, not right click this. We're going to left click this, and then we're going to go down to surface, and we're going to go hit post process. And what that'll do is that'll turn that basically into a post processing hoopla. So we need the color, grade, and strength first. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to type in scene texture without the caps probably. Okay, and so what we're going to do with this is we're going to copy Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. We're going to do this 4 times, and each one is going to be a little different. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to left click it, and we're going to change this to a stencil, custom stencil. So what the stencil does is that's kind of like that wall hack nonsense, is that it creates a stencil over the object, and then the object goes over the post-processing. So when you usually use this, you're able to see like a color behind a building or things like that. Like you'll see like a red silhouette of the person or whatever the object is. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of disable that in a weird way. So we're going to make a mask. So right click, type in mask, it'll be under component mask, and all we're after right now is the R. So if you click this, unclick that, and then we need 2 of these. So yeah, okay. So boom, 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 Control C, Control V, Control V, and then we're going to go ahead and just link these up anyway. And then we're going to link this first one up. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to type in min, M-I-N, and then we're going to boom, and let's make our min 100 in the Bravo channel. And then we're going to hold down D, left click for divide, and we're going to put that in there, and then hold down S, left click, and that is going to be our parameter, and I'm going to say it's going to be 100. And then I will set this at 100. So what this is that basically it takes our custom stencil or our object, right, and it masks it, but it only masks it basically with whatever input number that we put in. So for instance, if I use 100 because it's a lot easier, especially with like cutscenes and stuff like that. It's a better round number. But your min 100 is your object. So you have your object, and it says, hey, okay, so if the object's number matches 100, then it goes back to the custom stencil or the original form. And then what we do is we divide it by the level, so we divide it by itself, and then since we have 100, it'll come out to 0. So basically what this does is it keeps it from other objects within the custom stencil, so it divides it by itself to make sure that it doesn't come out. It's a little yeah, but okay, so the lerp. Okay, so we're gonna need 2 lerps, so hold down L and then left click once, left click twice. Okay, and so what we're gonna do is we're going to feed this into the alpha channel. And then this other lerp, might as well, we'll go ahead and feed it into the Bravo channel, right? So we have the scene color. We're going to go ahead and click this, and we're going to change this to custom depth. And then this other one, we're going to go ahead and click this, and we're going to go to the other depth. What is it? Scene depth? Scene depth. Okay, so scene depth, and then what we're going to do is right click and hit subtract. And what we're basically doing is we're subtracting one mask from the other mask. And then once it's subtracted, we're going to right click, put in a seal, bam. Okay, so what a seal does is it takes the gradients and then it makes them into whole integers. So basically, like, if you have a gradient from like black to white, you have all these grays in the middle, and it's kind of a fuzzy noise, right? What this does is that that cancels out the noise. So instead of black into white, you have black, like a defined black, a defined gray, a defined, or I'm sorry, defined black, defined darker gray, defined lighter gray, and then white. Right, whereas if you just normally had it, it would just kind of like bleed into itself. So that's what we're gonna do with that. We're gonna go ahead and clamp it. I explained a clamp in the other video. It's really not that super awesome, but that just makes the min and max values. Okay, and so we're gonna go ahead and plug that into our alpha channel. Bada bing, bada boom. And then this one right here is our post process. So we're going to go ahead and click. And then we're going to go down to post process input 1. Or I'm sorry, 0. Post process input 0. And what we're going to do is we're going to, with this post process, we're going to desaturate it. So desaturation. This does exactly what it does, is it sucks the color out. And we're going to go ahead and have the custom depth, the custom scene depth, and we're going to put this into the Bravo channel, and we're also going to put it into the alpha channel up here. Okay, and from there we have one more, which is the lerp, is that we're going to take all this, we're going to desaturate it, and then we're gonna throw this into our post process. So this post process comes in, and then this lerps with the other post process, and then we just click the emissive color, and bada bing, bada boom. You should have a cool little grayscale thing. Yay! Okay, so so that is the code for this, but we still have a couple other things that we need to do. So let's apply, save it. We'll click down. And what we're doing with our post process here is that we're going to go down to post processing materials, and we're going to go ahead and hit this plus button, choose asset reflections, asset references, and then we're going to click the non, and we're going to call this S-City 3, right? Bam. Okay. So now our S-City is what it's looking like. Now what you'll see is everything will be gray. So what we need to do is we need to grab an object. So let's get this car here, right? I believe this is the blue car. Yes, okay. So this is the blue car. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the mesh components. Actually, before we do all that, we're going to go down to edit and then go to your project settings, because this is the 100 most important thing ever. So we're going to go ahead and type in post process, or post process. Yep. Okay. So it's under rendering on your engine if you really want to just try to find that, but but under post processing, it's going to say custom depth stencil pass. So I think by default it's enabled. And if you do enable it, it's going to look really wonky. Yeah, there you go. It'll look like something like this. So what we're wanting to do is go to the settings, and we're going to click it and then enable it with stencil. So we'll do that, click off of it. Now everything that we choose will look exactly like it's supposed to because it's dictated the stencil. So as far as this car is concerned, we're going to go to the mesh component here, and we're going to scroll all the way down. Actually, let's just go ahead and type rendering. That'll be easier. So rendering, and then here it'll say render custom depth pass. So we'll go ahead and click that, right? And that's obviously not going to do anything because we're still looking. So it's a stencil, but it doesn't have a number. So what number we're going to use is that original 100. So if you go custom depth stencil value and you type in 100, hit the enter button, and hey, check it out. Boom. So now it is colored. And it also, reflects the light that it reflects, and it's no longer a black and white vehicle. So if I just go back, like if I type in 200, it'll still take the number because it's over 100, but it's not going to, yeah. It's basically like a number over a number. Right now we don't have another number, so we don't have another post-process that we're messing around with. But so if we go down to 10 or 99, it'll try to fade into it. But absolute 0 is absolute 0, no saturation. So we can go, 85. And you see how it's kind of, sort of the color. So 50 should be half the color, right? And then 10 is 10% of the color. And then, so that's why I use 100, just in case I want to go ahead and average it out a little bit, but that is how you do that. So any questions, concerns? And it works for any mesh. So as far as when you click it, you click the static mesh component, and like I said, it is render custom depth pass. Click it, and then set it to your number, which is 100 for me, and then it'll take on light, and it'll pretend like it's part of the environment and everything like that. It also works for Niagara. It also works for lights. The only thing that it doesn't really work for is two-tone. And that's because once you do it, she takes on certain light functions. So if you have a yellow light or something like that, that's abundance like this, you can either let's go ahead and do that. Actually, you can go ahead and minimize this to, let's say, 0.005. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, she's still going to take on some light because it's the only light in the level. But for the most part, all you have to do, because like I said, mine's grayscaled, and then hers is, she's in color. So the only thing that I could think of is just to keep the meshes separate from each other. That's really the only, the materials. Just keep the materials separate from each other, and then you can, mess around with that. This is not affected by glows, I guess. So you can still have your emissive glow, but it's, for the most part, pretty awesome for what it goes with. I know that a lot of people have been trying to look for something like that, and here it is. So now what you can do with your oh my goodness, what am I doing? Okay, what you can do with your content here, right, is that you have the stencil, which the stencil is its own color, right? So we can just keep that and just hit C and then stencil. So this doesn't really matter. This is basically pulling the stencil out and then making sure that it is different from the post process. Here, though, especially here, so this, when you want to change something, like I put in desaturate, you don't have to have this node. This node is the, it's the whatever node, I guess. So desaturation obviously takes the color out, but if you want to, say, throw in any type of post-processing that you want to, right? So like if you have a post-process color of some sort, or like a cool thing, what you can do is you attach the post-process input, right? So make sure that this is there, and you can change these two variables. And so what this will do is that this will do whatever you want it to do. Basically make, so if you have like a stencil, not a stencil, like an outliner or a toon shader or something like that, and you want a certain character or a certain object to not be part of that post-process, this is where you change it. So whatever post-process you put in, make sure you have this tied into it, but you can come in and be like, okay, so post-process input, color, what we're going to do is, nothing, and then we're going to go ahead and branch it into our another color, or like the if, not the if, branch it into another color, do whatever, blah, 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 toon shader, and then from there, we're going to plug it in. It's going to act like it normally would as a toon shader under this post process, but this will omit whatever character you set to 100, if that makes any sense. So that's the video. I'm glad that I'm back doing some stuff. Like I said, it's it's been a long trip. We've got the pitch demo for Project Kianna coming out hopefully by the end of the month is what we're quoted for. So from there, we'll hit the ball running, and we should have the actual public demo out pretty soon. We'll be throwing it on the store. We'll have the website put up, all sorts of stuff. But like I said, the demo's free, so feel free to check it out, I guess. But we will be using this kind of, just a hint of thing, we'll be using kind of a Sin City version of this for some of the game, but obviously not all of it, and it'll be a little more stylized, because this is, I like this, but it's kind of bland, so we're going to put in a couple extra post-processing into it. But yeah, so that's the video. I hope this helps anybody that's got that Sin City vibe that they want to do with their video games, or if you want to just do something unique where you can pull that color out of whatever's going on. So like I said, hope it helps. You guys have a good one.